Hey guys, this is my Lynx Brutality 2025 setup. Yes, I will be LARPing. So this setup was inspired by 90s Navy SEAL style. And when I started to look at the equipment, what was available and what was not, I saw that it's really hard to get the OG gear. And even if I found some of the stuff, the original stuff, it was super expensive. And honestly, I'm not that much of a LARPer. I don't care that much about this kind of old equipment. I just wanted to look cool. So my second idea was to get a gear setup that's inspired by the 90s Navy SEALs, but it's modernized. So how would I set it up for a similar purpose, but better with modern gear? I hope that makes sense. Let's start with the most interesting part, the guns. For a main gun, I will be using the MP5SD. This is not an original HK, this is actually a Turkish MKE, but it's a very solid gun, works reliably, and I personally love it. But this is not the best choice for a brutality match because, as you may know, this is an integrally suppressed gun. That means that it has a suppressor almost the whole length of the barrel, and it's made in a way that the barrel is actually ported just after the chamber. So even if you use just normal ammo with this gun, it will vent the gases away and it will make it subsonic. That means that the velocity is not there. The rounds leaving the muzzle are very slow, and because of the short barrel and of course the porting, it's not known by its accuracy. So I will probably have some issues with that, but I'm not there to win, I'm there to have fun. Now let's look at the accessories. I have decided to run the collapsible buttstock, which is also not the best choice for the competition because the extended stock, the length of pull is actually smaller, shorter than a normal stock, which means that I do not have a perfect position of the rifle in my shoulders, and I have to, I am closer to the body where I would want to be with a rifle. Usually with a rifle I would have this kind of length of pull. I can aim better, I can shoot better, shoot faster, more accurate, but this is just a small thing. Essentially why I chose the collapsible buttstock is because it looks cool. It's super cool. I think that will be the main point of this build and this whole gear setup. Then we have the Navy lower. This is actually original HK. I think this lower was actually made to be the G3 Navy lower, but I cut some things and converted it to MP5, so it can be mounted in this gun. The trigger pack is just a normal trigger pack that came with this gun. Semi-auto only, unfortunately. Magazines, we have a couple of MKE magazines. We have some new magazines that we imported from Taiwan. They actually work really well and the price is good. For the attachments, I went with the UTG Pro optics rail. Now, if you don't know yet, UTG Pro is actually designed and 100% made in USA, in their factory in Michigan. They have really high quality products, and essentially this optics rail uses the same attaching system as their whole MP5 chassis, but instead of having a chassis, it's just an optics rail. Because obviously their chassis is made for normal MP5 and does not fit the SD version. But to mount the front accessories, I use their, their front MP5 M-lock rail. I don't know what they call it, but essentially it's this aluminum piece over here that attaches to the front sight, and this is essentially good enough for flashlights, for tape switches, maybe for a laser, but nothing too big, nothing too heavy, because I don't think it's sturdy enough. For the optic, I again went for looks instead of performance. Not that this red dot would perform badly, but it's essentially this is the Holosun, I think, HS 506. Essentially a visual copy of the aimpoint. I would love to get an aimpoint, but not for the price. Even the old surplus ones are getting crazy expensive, and essentially what I needed is just to look cool with this setup. The only downside is that I do not have any magnification on it, and I am kind of suspecting that this will be an issue at Lynx Brutality. Because I know, because I designed the stages. Oh, for the flashlight, this is just Ace Beam P15 or something like that. The predecessor of the good light. This one is okay, but I don't expect that we will need it at Lynx Brutality, just here for the looks again. And for the sling, initially I went for an actual OG 3-point sling, but it was not made by HK, and I think it was not meant for the MP5 because it was just too big and did not function correctly. I think it was meant for a longer rifle. So I scrapped that idea and went with the reliable one. So this is the direct action sling, which is just a 2-point adjustable sling. And since I didn't have any HK hooks laying around, that'll definitely look cooler, but instead I just chose some black paracord, and here I can attach it directly to the stock like this. For my secondary, I'll be using the Type B from Archon Firearms, and I just got this pistol 2 hours ago, so I know nothing about it. It fits well in my hand. I like the grip angle. The trigger is very nice, and it has sights. So as long as it shoots straight, I think I will do fine with it. What I will try to do is mount a red dot on it. And I was also thinking about using a suppressor during the competition, just to keep with the style of Hush Hush and Spetsops or SF or whatever. But that could potentially be an issue. I will see if I can find a usable suppressor. That means light, small, short, that will work at the competition. Otherwise, I will probably just use it in this configuration. If I decide to go with a suppressor, my only option for a holster, a usable holster for this gun, will then be the Hush holsters. These are actually made in a way that they interact and lock on your tactical flashlight. This one is for the TLR1. So essentially I would have to mount a light here, have a suppressor, and then the holster would lock it in here. So the suppressor can be like a thick suppressor and whatever, it can be long, but it stays outside. And this is also a level 2 retention holster, so you need to depress it to unlock it. So this is one option if I get a suppressor. The second option is we don't have holsters for these Type B firearms yet, but Battle Known Solutions just sent me a gift last month for my birthday, and it's a level 2 retention holster for a Glock with their new safety, with their new level 2 retention lever, where you press it in. It's tactile, it's super cool. It locks perfectly with a single press, unlocks. That's all very nice, but it's just a bit too tight. So one option will be to add a couple of spacers here and also lubricate the holster internally. So it's not that bad. So yeah, this is also an option that I have. We'll see. I will be wearing this overall. It's not exactly a flight suit, but I think it's an overall from a flight mechanic from the Dutch military. It's surplus, and this is essentially made from meta-aramid, para-aramid fibers and some carbon weave. So essentially this is fire resistant. This is similar as it would be made from Nomex. Perfect, I look like a janitor. So the main reason I didn't go with the flight suit is essentially price. Flight suits are a bit harder to get in Europe, especially the used ones, and the new ones are quite expensive. It's a bit short in the sleeves, a bit short here in the pants, but not bad, not bad. I have some extra pockets. The only problem that I potentially see is this Velcro. I would prefer just a normal zipper. And the other thing is that I cannot feel any belt loops. Originally, I wanted to buy the Adidas GSG 9 boots, which I think look super cool, but I'm not sure how they perform. I never tried them out. They're quite expensive, and I didn't want to spend so much money on something that will just look cool. What happened then is I saw that these Lowa Zephyr MK2 wide edition were in stock at Perunica. Shout out to Perunica, our friends. Essentially, I already tried Lowa boots. I never bought a pair because they didn't fit my they didn't fit my feet. Fit my feet? They didn't. Essentially, I didn't buy them because they were not good. But the wide edition, they're perfect. So I went there, I tried them out, and I bought them. They only had them in desert color, and I bought them because I'm not using them just to LARP at Lynx. But after that, we're doing, again, the light infantry competition in Poland, where we're walking for 60 kilometers in 2 days. And hopefully these will save me some blisters. I really hope. The overall has an option for knee pad inserts, which I think would be the better option, but I'm also going for good looks here. I found these Hedge knee pads at home. These are mine from almost 20 years ago. I used them for airsoft and I absolutely love them. They are very used, very old. The elastic does not elastic anymore, so I had to sew in some additional Velcro, but I think it should be good for the competition.
Pablo!
Pick up! Look at him! Look at him! Yeah, was goed. Look at him! Dat is Rancho. Look at him! Where were we? Oh yeah, gloves. Hedge made the best gloves. They were made from very soft leather. I think it was either goat or kangaroo leather. It fitted your hand perfectly. You got all the tactile feeling. You could manipulate guns. You could do stuff. And the other material was Nomex. I searched for those gloves. They obviously don't make them anymore. We found a couple of used ones on eBay, but they were super expensive, not in my size, and yeah, I just went for something else. So I saw that Direct Action actually makes some gloves with similar purpose. So these are tactical gloves with very thin leather to give you a nice tactile feel, and with Nomex. So these would serve the same purpose. They are fire resistant and they protect your hands. Now I did want to get the bigger model, which kind of extends to here. Those kind of old school ones, similar to Hedge, but they didn't have them in stock in my size. So these are a bit short, but they will do. For the belt setup, I will start with Direct Action inner belt. This one is very soft, which will help out in this situation where I don't have belt loops. And it is using this kind of modern Velcro that doesn't catch on everything. For the outer belt, I went with Helicon-Tex Cobra modular range belt. This one is super stiff, it's reinforced, and it also has additional MOLLE that I can use for pouches. It uses the small Cobra buckle. I like the system of how it attaches. So even when you put it on and lock it, you can still use the adjuster to tighten it on your belt and make it super secure. And right now it looks like it will stay in position, which is super awesome. On the belt, I'll be using the Direct Action fast magazine pouches for the MP5. I also have additional Kydex magazine pouches, also for the MP5 from Battlenome Solutions. And I'll probably get a couple of additional magazine pouches for my pistol. I have the Helicon-Tex pouch for a smoke grenade or a flashbang that we might use, hint hint. This competition medkit pouch from Helicon-Tex. These are really good. They're nicely priced, very functional, and what I love about them, when you set them correctly, they are a pull-out version that you can pull out from each side. They hold securely, and I use them on my shooting belt, so it's always on. If I have my shooting belt with a pistol, I always have the first aid on. But you can alternatively also mount it on your molly gear, so on your plate carrier or chest rig. You can mount it in this direction or in this direction. The cool thing is, if you set it up correctly, like I said, this one is not set up correctly. You have these things protruding from each side, and you essentially pull it out, and that's your med kit. I already use one on my standard shooting belt, like this, and I can just put this insert with everything into the black one, and this will sit on my belt. So that's cool, and less work for me. Helicon takes dump pouch, very simple, functional. You can kind of fold it into a smaller package. It has a bungee for retaining mags. This could be important for MP5 mags because they're slick and long. If you lose the mag at Lynx Brutality, if you don't pick it up, that's a penalty, so I don't want to get that. So I'll play with this to see if it works normally. Very old Hussar admin pouch or tactical fanny pack. Not sure if I will use this yet, but maybe I will mount it on my chest rig just to cover my belly. We'll see. For the holster, I'll choose one of the holsters, not sure yet, but essentially I'll be using this mid-ride platform with tie strap and QLS interface. This is just so convenient, so simple, especially if you own multiple different guns. You change it out and that's it. Leatherman multi-tool. Funny enough, this is actually laser engraved by Direct Action. I got this last year, 2 years ago for their anniversary, and it's super useful. To go with the whole old school vibe, I wanted to use this. It's a tie platform from Direct Action, and oh, yeah, nice. Okay. So I guess the old school operators had it figured out. Now, as if all of this gear was not enough, I'm also thinking of maybe using the safety harness, the climbing harness. This one is made by Singing Rock. I think this is a Czech company. I use it for rappelling, and it's very simple but effective. How I would use this, I would have this on before the holster and before the magazine carrier, and hopefully it would not impede my movement. I'm still deciding if I will use it or not. If I decide to go with a harness, I'll also take this tactical rope bag that mounts on your leg. I will not use it during the competition, but at least I will have it for pictures, for photo ops. This one is made by Tasmanian Tiger. I have used it in a proper sense before. It does work, but it only holds like, I think, 25-30 meters of rope, depending on how you kind of fold it in. Headgear. I was actually looking at and thinking of buying the ProTech water helmet, essentially the skater-looking helmet that Navy SEALs used in the past. It's just a bump helmet, but it's also not that cheap, and I wouldn't really have any use for it other than this competition. So I decided to just go with my Arch Gen 3 helmet, which is a superb ballistic helmet made in Denmark. This is the high cut version. It's in OD green, and I decided to put a black cover over it. These are Edge ballistic goggles. I don't know which model. I think it's an older model. Not sure if they make them still. And the issue that I'm having is they do not fit very well with this helmet. And if I'll be moving a lot or shooting from prone, they will impede on my movement, and they're not ideal. They don't feel that nice. But I have them here for the LARP purposes. For my actual iPro, I'll be using my Edge Urgent Fury. I really don't know the model, but I own a couple of pairs of the same glasses. These are, in my opinion, the best. First, they do not, because of the design, they do not fog up. They also have an anti-fog coating, but also because of this design without the actual frame, doesn't matter in which direction I look, nothing is impeding in my vision. And when I have these on, it feels like I don't have any glasses on, which is perfect for me. They also have this very thin, what is it? This part over here, I don't know what you call this in English. It's very thin and it's very flexible. So when you use these with your Earpro, it doesn't hurt as much as it usually would be. Now I have a balaclava prepared. This is one of the best single hole balaclavas that I know of. This is the company's Pro Function. I think it's a German company, and this is the model that all of the German special forces use. Usually they have the version where it's embroidered like police or whatever, Polizei. This one is just without everything. Why it's so good is because it's made from multiple materials. Essentially, this part over here has more holes, so you can hear better, and where your mouth and nose is, it's the same material where there are micro holes, and you can breathe through it without fogging up your glasses as much. But I think this will still fog up my glasses. I will have it with me, maybe for a LARP or two, for a photo definitely I will put it on. But otherwise I'm pretty sure I'll be shooting the match like this without the balaclava. If you don't believe me, just ask PSR. It's so hard and so annoying to shoot, and you're sweating, you're hot, everything is fogging up. It's not a pleasant way to shoot a match, and he does it every time. Like, he's the OG. The main reason I changed from my old U-arm helmet to the new Arch Gen 3 is the internal harness thingy. The foam is super soft. It's like a memory foam. It's comfortable. It does not create pressure points on my head. And this very ingenious system harness that you can adjust with this wheel, it just works. I had this helmet at Moons Out match. It is a night vision match where I was wearing it for the whole night with a very, very heavy dual nods on it. My head didn't hurt. It didn't create any pressure points. It stayed in place. And that's why this is my go-to from now on. Highly recommended. You can get it at polenartactical.com/store. My first choice for Earpro was this com set from EcoCrew. This is actually what ROs are using on Lynx to communicate between themselves, and I am actually a match director, so I will be a competitor shooting the match but also working as a match director. So my thought was that I would be using this during the match, and I could communicate with everyone. These these have an internal system that creates a mesh, and you can talk with each other. But there are a couple of issues. These right now in this configuration, I cannot mount them on the helmet. I could use them under the helmet. It would not be ideal, but also these are just too bulky and they create a lot of pressure on your head. Additionally, what tipped the scale is that yes, they have a good communication module inside, but something with the PTT button and how they work, we couldn't figure it out. But essentially you are on a hot mic. If you are super loud, they will pick it up and they will transmit to others, and that can get super annoying if you're shooting a stage and people are talking in your headset and so on. So instead of that, I will go with something else. I'm shooting with the MP5SD, so I don't need some extra strong hearing protection. So what I was thinking is maybe going with the Earmore M31s, I think. We got those for free. You never see me use them because honestly, I don't want to say they are shit, but I'm not even talking about the electronic system of transmitting sound. No, just the body. I think it's too thin. It's empty, hollow inside. And even if you have this turned off and have them on your head, if someone is shooting next to you, it's loud. And if they're shooting with a rifle with a compensator, it hurts. And if it hurts, it's causing damage to your hearing. That's why I usually don't use them. But with the MP5SD, this will be perfect. Additionally, what I will do, I have a mount for them, for the helmet. So I'll try to mounting them on the helmet. And what I will also test is I will get them completely apart and I'll try to fill out the inside with sound dampening foam, like the ones that use in cars and for other applications. And I will see if that helps with the sound reduction. This also ties into my comm setup. I'll just be using a simple Baofeng with a foldable antenna. That way I'll be in contact with the RO team if they need me. Now I could just blast this on full volume and I would probably hear it. But my goal is to maybe connect it with a microphone or a PTT button or something. So I'll have it on my gear and I can communicate without getting it out from the pouch. If I understand correctly, the active hearing protection has some kind of input, probably hopefully 3.5 millimeter jack. So I just need a microphone and then I can connect it to here and I should hear the communication in my Earpros, and then through the mic and PTT button I could communicate with others. Haven't tested it yet, so I don't know if this will work, but that is the initial plan. Plastic cuffs, primarily for LARPing, but also having fun with our competitors, maybe doing something stupid between the stages. My plan was to shoot in open division, so I don't have any requirements about the gear, but looking at all of the gear that I will probably have on myself, if I make 12 kilos, I will shoot armored. And that's why I'm debating using soft ballistic protection, like maybe they would in the 90s. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have the option to insert plates, but it would sit under my chest rig and other gear. This actually fits very nicely. It's super comfortable, but I guess if it'll be hot, maybe not the best choice. This ballistic vest actually fits very nicely. It's snug, I can move freely, it's nice. There's one issue, we only have this one in the store, so if I use it at Lynx Brutality and get it dirty and sweaty, it will lose its resale value. If you're in the market of buying a used bulletproof vest that was used only once and it was super sweaty and we give it for half the price, contact me quickly below, because if you do, then I'll use it links and just sell it to you. Otherwise, I don't think they make sense. So this will be my main carrying solution, a chest rig from Helicontex. Additionally, I'm using direct action pouch for comms. Not sure if I will be using it in this position here. It's not ideal, but maybe I'll put it in a backpack. We'll see. There's more than enough space for the mags and all of the other accessories that I would need. These are actually for AR, AK mags, so not for MP5, but I think I can make them work. The bulletproof vest goes underneath and then this goes over it. If I'm not using the bulletproof vest, this just goes directly on my body. And then I'm using the Helicontex Guardian backpack. This backpack is made in a way that it can attach to MOLLE, so you can use it on a plate carrier, but I'll probably just be using it with normal straps. This will be for my additional gear and for hydration. So this will be my primary hydration. This is, Source, yeah, Source. They make really good hydration bladders. What else? I'll have a couple of energy bars in here, rain gear, extra ammo, and I think that's it. That's it.